Yeah, you're live.
We're live? Okay. Hello, viewers. Welcome to another edition of Najure's webinar, where we discuss on a lot of topics ranging from gender issues, uh, elderly care, animal welfare, social welfare, entrepreneurship, etc. My name is Abhishek, and I will be your host today. With us, we have Noyonika Gogoi, who is a research associate at Nalsa University of Law. She is an animal activist who works primarily for the welfare of poultry and farm animals. I'll let her talk about herself and tell us more about her journey. Noyonika, over to you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Team Energy. It's a pleasant moment for me to be connected with your organization. Thank you, the entire team, like who have coordinated so well, and thank you so much. My name is Noyonika, as I've said, and I work for Humane Society International India. It's an animal protection organization. I was working for as a research associate. I was working in the Animal Law Center at Nalsa University, and that was in the year 2018. And currently, I'm working in Humane Society International. So basically, I'm a lawyer, and I completed my law in the year 2015. So during my master's, my journey started somewhere like that. I during my law journey, I used to volunteer in different animal organization, and I'm so always attached to companion animals, like everyone. Like we all love dogs, cats. So I was all like, and like others, I was also attached to them. So during my masters, we were asked to prepare our dissertation during our final years, and everyone was working on child rights, women rights, and different other topics related to law background. Then I came across Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act, and I was really surprised. I'm like, oh, do we really have a law for animals, especially in India? Like, I was very surprised to know about. Obviously, I have heard about Wildlife Protection Act, but I've never heard about Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act. I was like, okay, I should understand what is this act all about, and you know, what is the importance of these laws for the animals. So I decided to do my research on Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act to understand the laws behind it. And then I related during that time, while I was doing my LLM, Jallikattu was an important issue at that time. So I connected my study with Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act with Jallikattu case and Bulbul birds fight in Assam. So that is how my journey started. I connected my law with animals. So I did my master's in animal laws, and then I always wanted to be a part of the national law school, because it is like a dream of every law student to be a part of national law colleges. So at that point of time, there was a vacancy in the Animal Law Center. So basically, in the year 2017, Mrs. Menaka Gandhi, inaugurated the Animal Law Center at Nalsa University. So that is the first India's Animal Law Center. So there was a vacancy for a research associate post. I applied for that post, and then by God's grace, I got into it and I started working there. For the past, I joined in the year 2018, and I was working as a research associate. And basically, my work profile was to educate the law students in the national law colleges about the PPC Act, the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act, and the Wildlife Protection Act. So it was basically a credit course, and they were asked to do research on different topics related to animal laws. And yeah, that is how I started working there. And also I was engaged in sensitization program with the police officials, magistrates, and public prosecutors. So that was my role and responsibilities in Animal Law Center. So as Abhishek sir has mentioned, that I was working for research. Mainly my profile was like I had to go and visit different poultry farms in Hyderabad and understand and study the conditions of the farm animals in this poultry farm and the gross human rights violation that takes place in this poultry farm as well as environment. So that is how my journey started. I got more into I slowly understood what is animal laws, the sufferings of the animals. It is not only just the companion animals who suffers, but the farm animals who suffers the most. And then now I'm full time. I'm working for Humane Society International as a wedge as a Assam Outreach Coordinator for the Farm Animal Protection Department. And yeah, that is how right now I'm working. And yeah, I would like to talk more about how what is our plan, what is our organization doing in the
Nanika, just
yeah.
before you move to that, you mentioned Jallikattu
Yes.
and how you got associated with it. Uh, can you tell us something about that? Like we often see, animal sports like Jallikattu or animal sacrifice in the name of religion and customs and traditions. So, can you tell us something about that? Like, what can be done to prevent such things? So, recently, even just because you mentioned Jallikattu, I'm saying recently, after the lockdown, Jallikattu was, public gatherings were banned. So, Jallikattu was out of the scene. But then, what happened to those animals? The animals were being allegedly sold for meat. So can we do something about that? What are the legal aspects that can be covered to prevent animal
So
sacrifices, animal sports, and animals used for such sports and then being discarded as meat?
yeah, so basically, Jallikattu and because in like in Assam, every year during Bihu time, we have our mock juice, the buffalo fight,
Hmm.
that takes place in Morigaon district. And
Right,
again, in Hajo, this temple, we have the bulbul birds. The bulbul are like the
right,
singing birds. So
right,
and then and then they have their own way of saying that due to religious faith, they have been continuing this kind of festival. But the thing is that we have to understand the suffering of the animal. This is complete unnecessary suffering to the animal because the bull doesn't fight like on its own wish. So over the night they are intoxicated with the local wine and all, and then they are rubbed. Their eyes are being rubbed with chili powders. Their tails are being dogged off. Their body is pricked with different sharp instruments. These are all unnecessary suffering, again, which is totally a gross violation under the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act, Section 11(1)(e). So if section
correct.
11, under section 11, if you go through the section 11 PC Act, you will see that these are all total violation of PC Act. So, and again, there is, under section 11, 1M clause 2, it is completely, it says that organizing and inciting animal fight is a cognizable offense.
Correct.
So, but then just because there is lack of awareness among the people, and and the way they are actually doing it, they are very good judgment. After actually Jallikattu judgment, it is a landmark judgment, and it was
Correct.
under the judgment, it was under Article 21. It was said that every animal, we have to have compassion for the animals, no matter what kind of animal it is. So we have so we no I think but then due to the way it was strategized, and now the bullfight, the Jallikattu, it's still going on.
Absolutely. Right.
But then what we think is that what as an organization, or what as an individual we think, is that we should educate the people, we should sensitize the people. That is the most important thing now. At least the
One
youth,
question that often comes to my mind is like, of course, awareness is needed for certain cases like cruelty to dogs, cruelty against dogs and other animals. Of course, awareness is needed, like what to do, where to go, whom to approach. But then for sports such as Jallikattu and the Bulbul fight and then the Buffalo fight, these are quite well established, right? So uh, these things are already in the have already been noticed by the authorities. So do you feel that there is a lack of enforcement of the laws already in place?
Yes, see, because again, the penalty, which is very less. So now
Mhm.
when you commit a crime towards an animal, it is 50 rupees.
Mhm.
Because this act came in during the British era. And after that, it was never amended. And that time, 50 rupees was very high, right?
Correct.
So now it is now, if you commit a crime now, it's 50 rupees and it will enhance to 100 rupees.
Mhm.
So that is what is under PC Act. So what we are trying to do is that we are trying to do no more 50 campaign.
Mhm.
We are working on it. We are working with the MPs. We are sending off letters to the MPs that
Mhm.
we are asking, we are requesting the MPs to take it forward to the animal husbandry department, that we should know there should be strict penalty sections, and without penalty, no, it's not possible.
Right.
So a high penalty. And when I just give me a moment, 1 second.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah. So the penalty is important, and also when, as you have mentioned, that we have to educate the judiciary department, because hardly
Right.
as a law student I have never come across any the PC Act. It was not a part of our curriculum. We have
Mhm.
never studied anything about animal laws and all. But now, if we sensitize the judicial magistrate, if we sensitize the police officials, they will take this matter seriously.
Right.
And you cannot, and it's the I think during Jallikattu judgment, it was something went wrong. People started activism. It's difficult sometimes. People sitting down and doing Jharna Mocha, it's every time it's not of help. There should be proper law and procedures, policies, education, sensitization. Now give you an example. So finally this time, every year, there is a mass killing of animal sacrifice in Nepal.
Mhm.
This is the kind of, it's a kind of festival where mass killing of animals. So what we started doing is that, like, since last 2 years, so the festival was Garimai festival, it is known as Garimai
Okay.
festival in Nepal. It is something like Jallikattu and all. So all these cattle and all are being transported from different parts of India, the neighboring areas. So what we did last year, we did complete sensitization program. We trained the CRPF, we trained the police officials, and then we did street play dramas with
Mhm.
we have volunteer team in Bihar and different locality areas where we did street play dramas where they did nice dramas where they showed that killing of animal for sacrifice and all, how traditional and how bad it is. So
Mhm.
with that this time find, and then we worked with the temple authority, the pandit there. So we did a proper one-to-one talk with the pandit and all, and finally that's such a nice, after 3 years, finally they say that okay, now this time there will be no killing of animal. Instead of that, people will offer fruits and all.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
that is how we have to settle this thing. We have to
But what's the
plan it
reason
like
that
this.
what's the reason that as you mentioned, the fine is very less? What's the reason that the act hasn't been amended? I mean, we have pretty much strong lobbies. We have an MP who is a very strong. I mean, who is the face of animal activism in India. She's an MP at the center. So what's the reason that despite so many efforts, so much effort, so many organizations and such a strong lobby in India, that we couldn't get uh, an act amended?
Because animal welfare is something is in the bottom line of everything, right? And then
Mhm.
who cares, like nobody cares about it. And that's why we are trying to know that, suppose we have our local electoral bodies, we have to see that they even care for animals. No,
Mhm.
they have to take animal welfare as a manifesto. We have to see that. And
Mhm.
and maybe the process is starting now. We are working towards it. We are quite hopeful now. People now really, you today Anna Jory is taking up this issue. They have invited me to talk about animal welfare. This is how the trend is changing. People are slowly trying to understand animal welfare, and we really have to connect, as I keep on saying, that we have to connect animal welfare with social welfare problem.
Mhm.
We have to see that how both is so related to each other. Maybe
Right.
at that point of time, Mrs. Gandhi is like, thanks to her that so many, good things are happening. We are really
Right.
indebted to her. And similarly, we want more people like her in that field.
Nanika, can you tell me something about your organization that you are, something about the work that you and your organization is doing towards this,
Yeah. So,
creating a strong lobby and spreading awareness?
yes. So, Humane Society International, it's an international organization. So, we are working across more than 55 countries in the world. And Humane Society
Mhm.
International India is the India chapter. So, we started work
Mhm.
since the year 2009. And our headquarter is in Hyderabad. So we are
Okay.
basically working for human-animal bond, for protecting farm animals, for street animals, and then for
Mhm.
wildlife, to resolve human and wildlife conflict, and also for the animals in the laboratories. And we
Mhm.
do it basically through, and then also we work in the during conflict management and disasters program as well. So last year during this time during Amphan, we helped out like to distribute food for the livelihood animals. And then last year in Kerala, when there was massive flood, we was there. So
Mhm.
and then how we do is that through better policy program, we work with the government for better policies through advocacies and through more sensitization program. And
Mhm.
and all we are doing it through education, through outreach program and raising awareness. And that we encourage people to be more humane and more compassion towards animals. And yeah, I also I'm recently HSI, what we did is that complete no use of animals during in the cosmetic industry, and
Mhm.
also in the medicines. Recently,
That's
that
a
is one
very,
of the.
very obscure, that's a very obscure area. Like animal activists allege that animals are being used in the cosmetic industry. The industry has been uh, denying the allegation. Can you tell us more something about that?
This is the RTD department is not actually not my department. Like we know that, but we know how is it working. But
Mhm.
since I'm working more on the farm animal protection department, yeah. So
So moving on to the farm animal protection department, can you tell us about the status of the industry here, the farm and dairy animals industry here?
yeah. The farm, as the poultry industry, which is the biggest industry, and then as in Assam, almost all the eggs are being they're brought from Hyderabad and Telangana districts, and all these poultry industries are there. We have Suguna industries and all. So these
Mhm.
industries, so what we are trying to do is that taking these birds out of these cages,
Mhm.
from cages to cage free and free range system. Because
Mhm.
the thing is that they run this industry by violating all the laws. Okay, they violate the environment laws, they violate human rights laws, and also
Mhm.
the basic animal laws. So
Mhm.
when it comes to animal laws, they violate section 11(1)(e), which it
Mhm.
says that no animals can be kept in a cage where they cannot even express their normal behavior. So
Mhm.
this bird stands in a place which is less than A4 size sheet of paper. They get this
Mhm.
space which is just less than A4 size sheet of paper. And
Right.
then this totally violates all their, they can't even express their normal behaviors.
Mhm.
So this is in violation of the animal welfare. We talk about animal welfare. We talk about the five freedoms. So they violate all this animal welfare. And when it comes
Mhm.
to child, there are so many children who are below the working age. So we have
Mhm.
seen children working in this poultry farms, and they are being paid very small amount of wages, and they can't even raise their voice because they come from the neighboring areas and they have a problem regarding the language, that they can't even you know they can't even say that, hey, I'm getting less money or something. And they're kind of bonded laborers because they're all kind of the span cards and all being taken away by the managers. Also, there's huge gross human rights violation because you know they're not provided any kind of safety measures and all, nothing. And
That's
apart
like
from that,
breaking a lot of laws, right?
they're breaking
This
so
is
many laws. Breaking so
and
many laws.
how does the common man access such data? Like if I'm to speak in layman terms, like if I want to know about the industry, if I you are saying something, every animal activist raises this concern. We talk about awareness, but if a common man has to verify these allegations, how does he do that? Where does he find such data? Is it available in the public domain?
So what is there? There's called NIRI report.
Hmm. Okay.
There is NIRI report, and there is and then we can file RTIs. RTI is the
Okay.
best way, because there are schools. Suppose there are schools nearby this poultry farm, and this school
Mhm.
children complain that they are suffering from breathing issues
But
because
RTIs are usually applicable to government agencies. Poultry farms, I'm not sure if
yeah.
they're all of these poultry farms are governed by are government run. So will that be applicable in such cases?
Yeah, so basically, this they claim that they fall under this orange line. Like orange is like no, there's zero, like very less pollution and all. So they
Hmm.
claim about all this poultry industry. So
Hmm.
on that way, we can, a person can file RTI to at least get information. Like, okay, if you're claiming that you are under this orange line, then how many birds you have in your factory, in your poultry farm?
Right.
Because if you're under that orange line, you should have a limit of birds in your poultry farm. Like suppose 200 birds, but this poultry farm has more than 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, or it crosses more than 4,000 also.
Right.
So these things we can put under an RTI, and we can, and also some people, as I have mentioned, that school children, maybe people who lives near the poultry farm, they can write that, they write to us that, okay, we are facing this kind of health problem. Our ground is getting polluted. Our water is getting polluted
Hmm.
because of this poultry industry.
So basically, that's a backdoor into the backdoor for getting an inspection done at the poultry farm.
Yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
it's very difficult. They don't actually allow, and then the big poultry industry, they will never allow you, okay, to get inside, to
Hmm.
entry, they don't
Understandable.
allow even to entry the poultry farm. But there are so
So
many
the,
studies now that, like, you can
mm-hmm.
available. There are so many available studies now. So on that basis, you can study about it, and those materials can be helpful. Like, really, are they really following those rules and regulations that are being set for the poultry farm?
Mm-hmm. So I'll just move to a related subject. In 2019, FSSAI had food safety audit in which it mentioned six high-risk food categories, including eggs, poultry products, and meat as well. So can you tell me something about the farm industry as well? Like, the farm animals reared for meat, and then if there is a possibility for the Indian population to go completely vegan, if not the entire Indian population, at least a section of it going completely vegan, because even for the vegetarians, milk is an important part of their diet, of the Indian diet, and milk is used in a lot of religious uh, and customary events as well. So, is
Events.
there and can you tell us something about this? What is the scope of going vegan in India, and what about something about the farm industry?
Yeah. So this question we usually get when I present webinars and all. Like, is it
Mhm.
possible for India to go completely vegan? So what is the scope? Now, I would like to say here that we talk about 3R policy. because by 2050 we are almost 7.5 billion now, and by 2050 we are going to be around 9 billion. So we are already and if you look at the I would like to connect here to the sustainable development goals. So you can see that there is so much of poverty is there, still their hunger problem is still there, right? And the so many animals, so every year 80 billions animals are raised and killed for food every year. Now the thing is that these animals which are slaughtered for food, who is exactly consuming this food? Is it just like one section of the community, like the rising middle class section who has the the capacity to eat this food, like visiting KFC, McDonald's and all, leaving behind those poor people? Because the poor people, there's still so many people in India who cannot afford food on daily basis. So it's just one section of the people. We should think why there's still hunger problem, why there's still poverty problem, even though we are killing so many animals every year. 80 billion animals, imagine, including fish, chicken, duck, everything. So here we know there's something we are shifting to plant-based food. We as an organization, we talk about the 3R policy, that is, we should reduction, refinement, and replacement. So when a reduction, it's not completely vegan, is not something, is not a, I think for country like especially for Northeast, it is not possible for us to become completely
It won't be
vegan.
possible. It's a huge population.
It won't be possible.
It won't be possible, of course.
It won't be possible for us. So what we are talking about alternatives, and we are talking about the 3R policy. So reduction is like, reduce your meat consumption. Reduce your meat consumption to, maybe if you're taking 7 days eggs in a day, reduce from 7 to 6 to 5, like that. If you're taking if you're taking refinement, now refinement is something which I really think that's something which we as an Assamese people we can do. Like as I'm mentioning that battery cage eggs, because there's so much of violation. We no doubt we get eggs in like how many, 7-8 rupees. One egg costs like 7-8 rupees, but look at the background of it. So there's so much of cruelty to the animals, to the humans, to the environment, and the eggs and the chicken itself, who is so sick because so much of the chicken is in that horrible position that there is no way that we are getting good or healthy eggs. It is just our government who makes this kind of advertisement that Sunday hoya Monday roast khao one day. But then
even every slaughter, or how do I put it, like every animal that is slaughtered should be inspected by the food inspector according to the FSSAI rules, right?
Yeah. So as I would come to this. Yeah, I'll come to this point that when I'm talking about refinement, it is like shifting from this battery cages to cage-free and free-range system. So cage-free and free-range system, which is started by different farmers in Bangalore and different parts of India, and which we are looking forward in Guwahati, in Northeast also, because we have so much of land, we are rich in land. So why rather than buying eggs, getting eggs from different Hyderabad and Telangana state, which is so unhealthy, rather produce your own eggs from the backyard farm. And when you're talking about slaughtering of animals, there's so many illegal slaughterhouses all over everywhere. These slaughterhouses have no proper license, and then the meat which is slaughtered just near the roads, they are just kind of wet markets, and that is the major breeding ground for very different kind of diseases, and the meat which we are procuring is so unhealthy. So why not rather change your way of refine your way of eating, buy meat from the slaughterhouse, like proper slaughterhouse. Refine your way of eating, because ultimately
most of the meat that we see in the markets are from the unorganized sector. Like some person comes up, opens up a shop, and we buy that meat. So how does a common man know that proper I'm buying meat from a proper slaughterhouse?
Yeah, because in this last to last month, actually there was a news article that was the Guwahati Municipal Corporation. They say that only meats will, only the slaughterhouses which is registered, which has a stamp, and which is the certificate. Only people can buy only meat from those kind of slaughterhouses. So last month, I think, yeah, that came in our Assam Tribune newspaper. Now the thing is that how much it is implemented now. Now again here, now since we have this slaughter, now since GMC has advertised this, we can now ask, because we can see, we can again here we can put an RTI that how much of action is really done now. No, because it is already in papers. Now we have to check. So it is our duty now. Because yeah, so refinement and completely, and then finally we talk about replacement, that is completely going from the animal product to plant-based food, and we are really working on alternatives. We are really we are recently we started the human entrepreneurship program. So human entrepreneurship program is something like that. We are encouraging entrepreneurs who has small startups of plant-based food. So what we are a bridge, like a HSI is a bridge between a new entrepreneur and an expert entrepreneur in plant-based. So those expert entrepreneurs will train these new entrepreneurs to start their plant-based if they're thinking to do something in food sector, in clothing sector, or experiment experiment sector where animals are not used. So this human entrepreneurship program is on that. And we are working with Good Dog, and then we have and different kind of this kind of plant-based alternative food system, and then we have a range of farmers who are into cage-free system. So we are working with these producers also, so that people, because if we keep on telling that hey please change your diet to more plant-based, but then if we don't give option to people, that's of no use. We have to give options. And for this giving options, we work with IHM Institute as well, the Indian Hotel Management Institute. We work with the Hotel Management Institute to train this upcoming students, to upcoming chef to make plant-based food, because they are the one who will go and then they will run their restaurants, and they will prepare. If they get training today from us, we have a chef from different plant-based industry, they train them, and later when they will start their own restaurants, at least if they have a set of non-veg menu, they will have a plant-based menu as well. So that is how we are trying to build up our whole way of work.
Okay. Noyonika, talking about slaughter, we often see animal slaughter in our religious practices. Right? Like you go to some temple, like in Guwahati, we have Kamakhya. So we often see animal sacrifices being done there. Some people sacrifice fish, some people sacrifice goats, for others it's pigeons. So is there a way to stop this? Because in the industry we can curb animal cruelty there. But what about religious practices? Is it a conflict between religious sentiments and animal laws in India?
Yeah, so again here, according to, so we have again under PCA Act, we have the Slaughterhouse Rule 2011. So according to Slaughterhouse Rules, according to rule number 9, it is said that animal sacrifice is illegal in our country. And according to the municipality law, the local municipality laws, so animal sacrifice is prohibited if there is some health concern to the people, if the environment is affected because of the sacrifice of the animals. So we have laws, okay. And
no, but then often in temples and all, we have the environment is fine. The premises are clean mostly, but then how do we stop animal sacrifices there? Because they are not posing a threat to humans. With their cleanliness is not an issue, so that law doesn't apply there, if I'm understanding you correctly. So how do we stop that?
The municipal can come into the scene if there is if they don't maintain the cleanliness and all. But otherwise, as I've said about the Garimai festival, How did Garimai festival stop? It is also mass killing of animal in the name of God. So Garimai is being completely stopped now. This is how it has been done through sensitization, through awareness. And if today we want to stop mass animal killing in Kamakhya temple, we need to have a proper, suppose every like Durga Puja time there is animal sacrifice. We have to plan in a way, like at least before 1-2 years, we have to start sensitizing the youth. We have to start working with the public prosecutors, judicial magistrates, so that they give proper order. We have to work with the CRPF. We have to work with the puja committee people. It has to be proper one-to-one talk, and without working with the puja committee people, it won't be of any help. So
But do you
sensitization,
think that in a country
sensitization.
like in India, a country like in India that is very much it's so much into religious practices and talks about cow being their mother, but then on one hand, and on the other, we have such high numbers to show for in the export category of beef. Do you think that in such a country, awareness is on the right track currently?
Awareness has just started. Yeah, I really feel that awareness has just started. How many people in Guwahati really take animals? See, we have this kind that demarcation inside our head. No, that we only love dogs or cats, but we never think
Absolutely.
about the other farm animals. As I've always said, if we see a car, a car filled with full with dogs, dogs suffering, we really like our heart goes for them. But if we see chickens and all being turned upside down, we're like, okay, this is a general thing.
Right.
That is how we are being trained from childhood, and that's I think that's how our maybe our teaching is. But we need to have that sensitization. We need to have that awareness, that compassion. I feel for all the animals. The compassion is the most important thing here.
Okay. Okay. So
And coming,
awareness and then compassion.
yeah,
So
compassion and
what
awareness is very much.
what you suggested is like minimizing the the 3 R's that you mentioned. Uh, so first is minimizing consumption,
Yeah,
right? So
minimizing consumption is like, reduction is what is, reduction and
part of the
minimize.
3 R's that you mentioned.
Yes,
So
yes, part of the 3R.
is that the only way right now, or is there an immediate way to stop the culling of animals for consumption or religious practices?
Culling of animals, see, this is very difficult. Okay, very to be true, Abhishek, because I cannot, because I know, and especially the most important thing is eating meat is not illegal. No, it is not illegal.
Right.
It's not illegal. If I go and
Right.
say someone today, if I have a friend and that person is eating meat, I go and ask him that, hey, don't eat meat. He will obviously
Right.
ask me back, right? That why can't I eat meat? It's not illegal. So maybe with this process of this 3R policy, and then if someone is, if the youth is very much connected to the climate change. So many people nowadays talk about climate change. But then rather than, we might not get a big platform like Greta Thunberg to voice for our climate, but then just changing in our own plate, the way we eat our food, we can really contribute to our climate change, because animal agriculture is the third largest man-made is the component for the greenhouse gas emission.
Correct.
So if we cut down our consumption of meat, we can immediately help our climate as well. And then so many trees and forests are just being cut down for deforestation. Look at the Amazon forest. So many trees are being cut down to
Right.
set up the factory farming as well as to grow crops for these animals. Rather, if we shift those crops to the people, so many people, we can solve the problem of hunger and poverty as well. So we have to connect something like that.
Okay, Naika, before we take questions for from our viewers, I would like to know your journey as a lawyer, and then moving on to animal activism. How did that occur, And what is the scope for lawyers willing to pursue animal activism at the same time? Is there a specific field that one can take up professionally?
Yeah, so I'll answer you this last question, then I'll go back. So
Okay.
coming to this, yeah, lawyer, coming to this field as a lawyer, I keep on encouraging my juniors now. So whoever volunteers for HSI, I keep on
Mhm.
encouraging them that see, even I have completed my law. I would have been a corporate lawyer, but
Mhm.
there are very few people, first of all, who really stands for animal, who have compassion for animal. And if you have the legal skill, if you're a law student, why don't you use it for to stand for the animals? And then today there's so many cruelty cases, but we don't know how to figure it out, how to place it in the court, because
Mhm.
we are not ever taught how to deal with animal laws. So
Mhm.
we what here I would like to say one important point, and that is the reason we are working with the uh, law colleges. We are
Mhm.
working with the law students to sensitize them with the animal laws. And then also
Mhm.
we are working with the different NSS department of the colleges. We are training this, we are trying to collaborate it with the NSS department so that they keep animal law curriculum as one of the important subjects,
Mhm.
because NSS people, they work for different social service work. So why not
Mhm.
they also work for animal welfare?
Right.
And then the lawyers can obviously the lawyers can take animal law as their complete, as a career, and then they can take forward to research level as well. And since
Mhm.
Animal Law Center has come up, so Animal Law Center, what we do is that we have also started 1 year diploma program on animal laws.
Mhm. Okay.
So one can, if after graduation, if one that person might not be an advocate, but he can understand all the animal laws, and he can at least help in the elementary process of filing an FIR, or
Mhm.
at least helping the advocate to
Mhm.
guide him with the laws. So
So
that is the
let me
reason.
ask you something.
Yeah.
Like I come from a family of lawyers, and like my family members haven't taken up animal activism to that level of legalities. Can you tell me something about the scope of uh, the lawyers, the young lawyers that are coming up? How viable it is for them to take it up?
I think it is just like any other. Like suppose a person who wants to be a corporate lawyer, that person can be an animal advocate. So why he can be an animal advocate, and he can be like do so like training the judicial magistrates about the animal laws, training the
Mhm.
public prosecutors. He can go up to national conference level and talk about animal laws. There's so much of scope for that person
And
to
this can
go.
be taken up as a profession.
That can be completely taken up as a profession, because
Okay.
our prior managing director, Mr. Jayasima,
Mhm.
he is an advocate, and he was our MD of our organization.
Okay.
So after he completed his BLLB, he
Mhm.
immediately chose to be a person in this animal welfare field. He volunteered for PETA as a young boy, and then his journey
Mhm.
started, and they started HSI in India.
Mhm.
And right now he like this obviously I think and what I feel is that all the other sectors has already been explored. Now people should really focus on animal laws now, and without improvement in animal laws there cannot be improvement in human welfare. Because at first, as and when it comes to slaughterhouse, because you're mentioning about
Mhm.
slaughterhouses, I'll tell you one
Mhm.
thing, that there are children who work in these slaughterhouses, right? There's small children who
Right.
work in these slaughterhouses.
Mhm.
And when they keep on seeing this bloodshed and all, when they keep on seeing regular killings of animals, they become so habituated to it that they
Mhm.
don't fear to go out and throw acid to an animal, or with someone, or hit someone. And slowly that
Mhm.
child develops that criminal behavior,
Mhm.
and then
Correct.
it goes to human violence as well.
Right.
First he will
Right.
abuse an animal, then it will go to a woman, or his fellow being, and then he will develop criminal behavior. So we should really study about it. And
Right.
I really encourage the youth generation to study animal laws. We have PCA Act now. Recently, there has been changing in the pet shop rules as well. There are amendments that are going on right now, and this is because and for that we need more volunteers. We need more people to seriously take animal laws as a subject and understand.
Mhm. So I guess you are reaching out to people through social media as well, right?
Yeah.
So do you think that social media outrage uh, helps in such cases of animal cruelty, highlighting animal cruelty as a social evil?
So social media, what we do, actually we go live. Sometime we talk about farm animals, and we talk about different issues related to animals. So people
Mhm.
have, at least people are getting a way to ask questions. That
Mhm.
question might be something which is not, again, not for up towards our policy, which is against, but then it's fine. They, at least they have to raise their question. They will ask us something and we will solve it out.
But
No,
often there is outrage on social media about animal cruelty. Do you think such outrage actually helps on ground?
yeah, because social media is a way that you can spread awareness. At least you can spread awareness.
Hmm. Okay. Viewers, I would like to
Okay,
inform you
really,
that
there are
the
some
floor is
people.
open now for you. If you
Yeah.
want to put questions to Noyonika. Yes. So Noyonika, yes. I'm sorry I interjected you there. If you can just tell me about more on the outrage on social media and how it makes a difference.
Yeah, so I think you're talking about outreach, right? Outreach in the social
Yes, we
media.
often see a video of a puppy being burnt alive or kittens being, crushed under the feet. They post videos of that. They post pictures of that. So, and people often share it, hoping that it would make a difference. But does it actually make a difference on ground?
That makes a difference in a way that recently, I think last month, there were so many videos of killing and burning of animals in TikTok videos and all, right? So what we did is that somebody reported our organization, and we filed case because we have a cruelty response team. So immediately we have filed a case against that person, and we even to identify that person, we kept the prize money that, okay, this, if whoever identifies, we will award them with this amount of money.
Mhm.
So we are like, at least if that person is traced out, that action can be taken. And if that person is being traced, we what we do is that along with PCA Act, we bring IPC sections as well. I
Mhm.
think this way, if one report, we really encourage people to report cruelty. We have to
Mm-mm.
report cruelty. And then if people don't report cruelty, we don't know that there is cruelty going on with animals. And social media is a way out.
Mhm. Okay. I think Melinda has a question.
Sorry, my thing was not mute. But I had a question for Nayanika as such that she has all different options. Like definitely people become lawyer and make money. One of the reasons people become lawyer because they can make lots of money, specifically corporate lawyer. So, what inspired you to be a animal lawyer instead of being a corporate? And what would you have to say to other young people who wants to be a lawyer just to make money? And how would you convince them that instead of corporate lawyer, why don't you just come and do animal law stuff? So if you could say a little bit more about that, that would be great.
Melinda's voice, it's not audible actually. Abhishek, if can you
Yes.
just repeat what?
So
Right.
what Melinda is trying to ask is that you mentioned about people taking up laws, students taking up law as a law and animal activism at the same time. But what he's asking is that what about people who want to make money from from the legal profession? How do you uh, you know take, how do you convince them to take up animal activism instead of going for corporate law? Because most of the companies that we see fighting out legal battles in court have corporate lawyers representing them rather than animal activists who are also lawyers. So how do you convince people to become a change maker from a money maker?
Okay. So
How do you change that mindset?
yeah. So the changing mindset, it will be like, first of all, that person should have, attachment with animals. Look, my journey started because I always loved animals, and I love animals. And but then I thought that, like, why should I go with that similar thing, like following my fox and then visiting court and all, like doing daily practice? I didn't choose that. So that person should have compassion for animals. And there, I think, like organization like HSI, which is, we pay well. The organization pays well to the people who is in this field. And that person, if he has well knowledge about the animal laws, there, actually there's so many organizations like FIAPO, like HSI, like, like PETA, and then we have PFA. This organizations really pay well. It does. I think that money won't be a issue there. And apart from that, along with money, the person should have compassion. He should feel that, okay, by working, that gives you satisfaction. Now when I work, at the end of the day, I always have that satisfaction that, okay, today I have done something for the animal. That is what gives me more satisfaction than the salary I get at the end of the month. That
So,
should be, I think, in my mind. Yeah.
so I have another. I mean, the other part of the question is that what I see commonly in at least the Assam that I grew up was that, okay, you have to be doctor, engineer, or a lawyer. So when you become a lawyer and you study a national school of law, and then you choose to be an animal activist. So what was support from your family? What were they disappointed that you did not sit for a UPSC exam and take a government job or whatnot? Did you get support from your family? Could you say something about that? Because I see that quite often, that people are like just sitting for government job. You know, so
Yeah.
what kind of
Yeah.
support did you get?
My parents were very happy when they got to know that. And thanks to, again, I that all credit goes to Nalsa Law University. When actually they, that time, they were not at all aware why I'm going to Nalsa Law University. Okay, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be a research associate in the Animal Law Center, but that National Law University Nalsa was a very big thing for them. So now at this point of time also, they are sometimes like, okay, she's working for animals. But then but slowly and gradually, when they are looking at me, like giving presentations, and like today you have invited me as a speaker, and then when they keep on seeing me on the, so like, newspapers and all, they're like, acha, she's doing something, like she's really working for the animals. First of all, they never thought that I can, you know I'll take this so seriously and I'll take to this level. But now I now the support is very different. For the beginning, it was very difficult to convince them, to make them convinced that I want to work for an animal welfare organization, because that was something very new for them. They never thought that someone can earn and work in an animal welfare organization. But now it's completely different. They are so happy with my work, and they are like my encourage, like they keep on encouraging me, for which I get the confidence now.
Thank you. I think they may also regret sometime, because I'm sure that they also have to take appointment to see you, because you're so busy, right?
Yeah, they are like, okay. See, I'll tell one thing was like that, that my parents never allowed me to keep pets in my home. So that was a challenge. for me that, okay, today you are not allowing me to keep pets in my home, but I will work for animals and then I'll be in constant touch with them. So that was like a motivation for me.
So have you actually been able to convince them to go animal friendly and go vegan or something?
uh, they are becoming very animal friendly now, and now since my parents they are already in their 70s, and they I we celebrate Meatless Monday. So I would encourage today everyone here, whoever is watching this session today, that adopt Meatless Monday. By adopting Meatless Monday, you can bring a big change, you know, to your environment, to your own health, and to the animals. So many animals will be saved if you just if you don't consume meat in one day. Like 80 billion animals which are slaughtered for food every year. Their lives will be saved if you celebrate Meatless Monday. So my family have my family, my cousins, they have all like promised me that they will celebrate Meatless Monday, and they do share me pictures of like their food plate with all veggies and all, celebrating Meatless Monday.
Okay,
Abhishek, I
Nanika,
told you no, it's dangerous to have a lawyer speaker. See, took the grudge with her parents because they did not let us have a pet, right? So she said, okay, I'll become an animal activist.
one way or the other, I'll get back to you.
Yep.
Nanika, one more thing. Okay, before I put my question to you, I would ask our viewers if they have any questions, they can type it out or just you know chip in. So Nanika, what I wanted to ask you was that it's connected to my initial question that we have such a strong lobby in India. Do you think that political lobbying is important for this, or getting laws amended? Do you think that is something where we are lacking political lobbying?
Yeah, yeah. We really the laws need to change, and it should be more animal towards animal, and for that we need more in that field. We need more MPs and political bodies who have compassion for animal, who understands animal welfare, who understands this the importance of animal laws. So also the laws needs to get changed. The old traditional 10 rupees penalty, it needs to get changed, and there should be more strict penalty laws. And animal welfare should the education department, just like they have I as a student, I remember class 8, 9, 10, we had this environment law as a compulsory subject.
Hmm.
From the youth, from the school level, animal subjects should be in their curriculum. No, the youth, the young mind should have compassion for animals, and that
Hmm.
the government has to do with. They should bring this subject, and
You
with
told me earlier
again with
that you were reaching out to schools.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
are you also reaching out to political personalities, uh, to have laws amended or to
So
do
for the
something in
No
this?
More 50 campaign, for the No More 50 campaign, we are calling the MPs from our
Mhm.
own region. So since I take care of Assam, I'm contacting the MPs from Assam, and then I'm requesting them to. So we have a format of letter where we are requesting the MPs to send this letter to the to our animal husbandry department, to ask them to change the penalties and all. So we have to
Mhm.
work with them, they, because they are the one who
When
will
was
bring
this?
the
When did
change
you
in.
reach out and whom did you reach out?
So last we have been making calls, but actually my luck, last month it was very it's very difficult right now to get calls with the MPs. So Mr. Gaurav Gogoi and all. So we are trying to
Mhm.
reach them out, but last month I couldn't connect them. Maybe they are very busy at this moment. So we are trying to call every MPs from every states. So my colleagues are also contacting their own local MPs.
Have they been able to reach out to the MP?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They are sending the
And what was
letters.
their reaction? The MP's reaction, I mean.
The MP's reactions are quite good. Like they are. okay, they are like, we will send off the letters, and most of them are sending the letters. More than 130 letters has already been sent off. We are
Oh,
working
okay.
together with PFA and People for Animals and HSIs together, working with this No More 50 campaign. So
Okay.
already more than 130 letters has already been sent off, and I have also from my region, I have also like sent more than how many, 6 7 letters. Yes.
Okay.
So, Nainika, I'm not sure whether you listened to our webinar last week. Paramita from Oxford Forum was there, and they were doing excellent job in getting animal welfare in their curriculum for the young kids. And then they tried to get a government school from Assam government. Of course, they didn't get any, but they got invited by some school in UP. All right, and I think they are getting a huge number of school now to do this curriculum in their school. So we had suggested that we will write the letter, and we will, as a collaboration, various organization, reach out to the government of Assam to have similar curriculum for government school. So I think it will be a great collaboration. I mean, Paramita is supposed to send the letter, and maybe we can all the local animal welfare organization, and maybe with HRC, maybe you can also write the letter for our education minister.
Yeah, we can do, we can really do about it. And actually I got to know about her from your volunteer Anupa. She just briefed me about her
Okay,
plans and vision, and it was
okay,
something very similar, because her aim and ambition, her aim is also like educating people about animal, how to take care of animals.
yes. So
So
great.
us,
We are doing exactly what we want to do, our group, Enajori, because we want to connect.
right,
Anupa came to know about it, connected you, and that's what we have to continue doing. So we are trying to get
yeah,
the letter. I'll reach out. We will reach out to you also, so that we can have that collaboration and have,
yeah,
as you said, that animal care. I totally agree with you that a person have to first take care of a tree for 2 years, maybe after that a animal for 2 years, and then only they should think for a boyfriend or girlfriend, right?
yeah. So yeah, I really feel that. And whoever is, yeah, again, whoever is watching this session today, and if they're young people, that you should, I would request them that we would love to come to your college and then speak about animal welfare. Give us, it will be a great platform where we can talk to the youth about the importance of animal welfare. And we have, our organization has volunteering and internship opportunities as well. And if you're looking for a proper animal welfare platform where you want to start your career, uh, maybe you are like quite doubtful about it, that okay, whether we can seek out a future or a career in animal welfare. Definitely you can do it. Definitely there's so many people who is taking animal working for animal as a full-time career as well. It's a different feeling, because you're working for them, and at the end of the day, as I've said, you feel a different kind of happiness, which is more important. Because I've seen people who is working in corporate jobs, they get, they might have so much, they get huge amount of money at the end of their month, but yeah, that I feel that level of satisfaction or something is not there, and our life has become so busy. But then when you get time to love animal, cuddle with them, and at the same time work with them, because our Hyderabad office, people are allowed to bring pets in the office, so you can work, you can cuddle your pet, and then go back to your work.
Nice. Nanika, we have a question from one of our viewers, Varunil. He is asking, what is the procedure to file a complaint if an animal is has been run over by a vehicle? Whom to reach out to, and what is the punishment, if at all there is any?
Yeah. So first of all, whenever you see a animal getting crashed by a car or something, first of all your duty is to take that animal to the nearest hospital. give that proper, treatment and all, give that first aid and all, and then you can immediately file a fire to the nearest police station, write the whole, you have to inform about whatever has happened, write about everything. And then there are specific sections of like section 428, section 429, and under section 11(1)(e you can section under section 11 you can put down certain sections. There are rules and regulations where you can put it, like, because and then article 21, and then there's so many sections where you can put this when you see this kind of accident being happen.
And how do you determine like the driver or the vehicle rider is at fault, and what is the punishment? What is the maximum punishment that can be meted out?
So the max again, when I'm talking about the punishment, if you go for if you take the help of just PC Act, then the punishment will be, as I've said, will be 10 rupees, which is very less. So we have to connect with IP 420 section, 429 section, where it will be a cognizable offense, where the punishment will, and it will rise accordingly. It will become most the punishments and the penalty will be more strict then. So according to the situation and all, we have to connect with evidence. We can also take the section, some from the Evidence Act, some from CRPC and all.
Just one thing, we often like get reports from the police whenever an accident occurs. The the associated IPC sections are slapped on the vehicle driver. Rash and negligent driving is often one aspect that is often slapped on the vehicle driver.
Yeah.
Is that section also applicable in this case? A stray animal can often run on the road, but will the driver be held responsible for rash and negligent driving as well?
We can include that as well. Yeah. Rash and negligible driving, right?
Okay. Okay, so Arnold Gogoi is again making the point that the punishment is pretty negligible, and that's why there is a lack of fear among people,
Yeah,
which is why no
so
one
that
follows
is
the law.
I maybe through team managery, maybe you the volunteers from team manager.
Noyonika, your mic is on mute, I guess. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
So team through the volunteers from team manager, they can really help me with the No More 50 campaign so that we can work on it and we can make calls, because making calls to MPs is really very, it's a difficult task. It's quite challenging.
Yes, I think Milinda can help you connect with people. He knows a lot
Yeah.
of people.
So, to enhance the section, to make it more strict and the penalties, so we can work together for the No More 50 campaign.
Sure, definitely. We'll keep note of that. I had a question also. I mean, I wanted to share that experience because when you talked about the whole reducing meat and all that, and I have to tell you that I used to be like I needed meat every day, specifically when I was in the US, because what happened in the US, the whole market is so like you are so different from the reality. You see the clean meat where there's no blood, it's all nicely packed. And when I was traveling also, you get sausages and stuff like that, and people have no idea where sauces came from. They did not know whether sauces from pork or beef or whatever. Because I was still, I'm a very, what do you call, trans man out there, but I'm also conservative and I do not take beef. So I always ask that if the sausage is beef, if there's beef there, because then I would only eat it. So, and most people over there did not know. They didn't care whether it's a pork or beef, but they have no idea, because there's a huge disconnect between what they eat and the animal part. All right. So, I had KFC, I had lots of all this stuff, and I was disconnected. But when I'm here and where I'm staying at my sister's place, and when my sister nobody was there, I have to go to the market. I couldn't buy any meat. So when they were not there, and I was house sitting. So 2 weeks I was vegetarian because I was not going to go and get meat from the mutton store or get a chicken kill. So I realized that how hypocrite I was. You know, I survive. I will not eat it. I will not get anything killed in front of me. So I would not go and buy. I was fine. Fish I can handle. So fish was okay, but I was not able to eat meat. So I think more we see it process in front of you and see that crime. Somehow I couldn't do that. I could not go and say let's have chicken. Specifically when I was raising chicken, I stopped eating, outside at all because I start feel like I'm betraying. So, I think yeah, I can connect with that. The more we are connected, more we have a backyard chicken, more we have, you know, uh, when you see that, otherwise we are like a hypocrite, right? You know,
Yeah.
so, and I do feel that, I am animal activist, but at the same time, I do eat meat. I'm still not. I mean, it may have reduced, but I do eat. So, but in back of your mind, you know that there's some, you know, guilt somewhere. I do not know how do
Actually,
I.
yeah, yeah. So you know what? When you're talking, Melinda, when you're talking about the animal, the food from KFC and all. Actually, what we have to see is the welfare measurement of the animal. Like till the animal, one day the animal is going to get killed or slaughtered, but the life that the animal has. The life that animal has got before the animal has been killed, it should be a good life, the animal. But then life of the animals in animal agriculture, the factory farms, for example, the pigs in the crates, where the pig cannot even stand properly, where the pig cannot even move his body, uh, where the pig cannot is not allowed to even express his normal behavior. These are like total violation of the pig's fundamental freedoms. Similarly with the hands, which are mainly for the purpose of meat, hen which are raised mainly for the purpose of eggs. The ancestors, which were like the red jungle falls, the red jungle fall, they used to just lay 20 to 30 eggs per year. But after they are being scientifically, they are being done, and everything is now this same bird, they lay more than uh, 200 to 300 in eggs per year. Yeah. And then their beaks are being trimmed off, their the feathers and all, which is again cruelty. So that should not happen. The animal should live a proper life. And when that is what, backyard is always something good. And people should, as much as possible, if people reduce. And I think you all are aware of the fact about the plant-based meat, which is a new revolution that's coming up. The plant-based, the good dot meat, which is meat which is made from the jackfruit and soy. Uh, People can consume that to get to get the same flavor and the same taste. And then again, the cell-based meat. So what HSI India has collaborated with Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology, where they are like the CCMB is trying to make a process mutton, where they're just taking the cell of the mutton and they are doing it. So where you don't have to kill the whole animal, and it just from the cell you're making the meat. And there is no bloodshed, there is no like antibiotics, which is so bad for health, but that is being it's done in proper vitamins and mineral, like proper minerals and vitamins. So that way also, we can the upcoming generation can still enjoy meat, but without getting the whole, but without killing the whole animal. So alternatives is also important, I feel, till people can completely change their way of consumption, like replacing completely.
Yes, I think recently Bollywood couple Ritesh and Janelia,
Yeah,
they started a venture saying,
plant-based. Yeah.
for plant-based meat. Uh, okay, just last two questions and then we'll wrap up. Now, first is
I
from
have few
Arunil
more
again.
questions, though, Abhishek. I just a
Okay,
heads up.
okay.
Okay.
Just one more question from our viewers here. Arunil, he's asking, can we approach the government? I guess he's asking in this in context of the last question that we discussed about vehicles knocking down animals, I think, or animal cruelty as a whole. If you can cover both of them short in a brief.
Sorry, I didn't get the question properly.
Can't a common person approach the government directly, or has it like does it have to be an organization to report animal cruelty?
We can't like government to report the case. Obviously, the police is the first
No, not
person.
report. I mean approach the government.
Approach the government for for better policy program,
Yes,
for
yes.
better policies. Obviously, he can write up. He can obviously write to the government for better policies. Why not? Now,
Which department to write to?
basically, it is all about animal husbandry department.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you look, if Melinda and we are working on RTI. So there is one subsection for animal husbandry department where we can put any matters related to animals there. So suppose our case for the battery cage, it's already going on in the High Court. So it was with the animal husbandry. So with the High Court, the High Court has ordered that until and unless the final judgment comes out, no poultry owners can start new battery cage farms. And without veterinary's suggestion and inspection, they cannot use antibiotics on the birds. So these two orders are there till the final order comes out. So obviously you can approach the government as an individual. It will be very good because why only through organizations? As an individual also we have to raise our voice for the animals.
And will it be effective?
Well, it will be. If we have a group, it will be effective. If they get number of letters from individuals, then they are bound
Has to be a collective effort.
Yeah, collective effort. If like they have to open the letter and when they will see that they are writing it for a cause for the animals.
Okay, one more thing. Do we break any laws unintentionally in our daily lives pertaining to animal cruelty?
I think, yeah, like again, but then we are not again aware of it, as I've said that.
Exactly,
Hanging,
as I said, unintentionally.
Yeah, because like suppose hanging chickens upside down. So this is complete again violation. And then we are again they are like pet owners who just tie the dog outside. They don't provide them water, food, and all, which is complete being neglect as an owner of the pet. And then using monkeys and parakeets are usually for the what do you say? Why they keep the parrots on in those small cages for some magic and mantras for some tarot, and then at one point of time we never thought taking we see bandar nach, we used to enjoy that, but then these are all illegal, snake charmers and all.
Even buying chicken, right? Buying chicken in the roadside, don't they, all the chicken and everything is supposed to be killed in a slaughterhouse, proper slaughterhouse. The chicken are waiting there to be killed. They see the other chicken killing. That is also against the law, right?
Yes,
Noyonika? Even the chicken should not be seeing it.
Yes, again, this is again, you are right, Melinda. According to the slaughterhouse rules, an animal should not see another animal being killed in front of his eyes. So this is again in violation. The small, which the regular chicken mandis and they do that regularly.
So Arunal's asking another question here. Okay, I think she has answered that, Arunal, already. You
also,
can approach the government.
An animal, we usually what happens is that we abandon an animal and we think that it's okay to abandon an animal, right? But this is again which is in violation. But again, yeah, we are not aware of the sections and nobody if today, if we are aware of these sections, and if we know that there is a law for the animals, then people will fear to do this kind of mistake, or intentional mistake, unintentional wrongs.
Yes. So in that case, I wanted to ask you about three more things. One is I have seen recently, specifically in India, so much of violence with animal, and people are having sex with animal. And I saw a post over there where the goat died after she got gang raped. You know, I do not know what is a term. There's a term for that, right? Having sex with animal.
Bestiality.
It's bestiality.
Yes, yes,
Bestiality.
bestial. Is it um, is it increasing? Is it decreasing? What is happening there during COVID? Is it, what is seen in Assam, for example?
In Assam, Melinda, actually, I don't think so. Like, I'm not aware of any such cases in Assam right now of any bestiality. I've not come across actually.
Okay, all right, good,
Yeah,
good to
yeah,
know that. All right,
yeah. I hope it never happens. Like, it should not happen here in Assam. Any cases of bestiality, at least. And for
even
that,
the
and before it
even the,
happens, we
yeah,
should aware people. We should really aware people about it.
yes,
Maybe
because
that is our mission.
yes, and we will be together on that.
Yeah.
Even curiously, even the rape case and all was very less in Northeast. Maybe people did not talk about it, or it was less, but it's becoming more and more. So you never know. So we should be aware about that. The
Yeah,
other
we should
question
not
about,
compromise. Yeah, we should
yes,
not, like, for example, we always in our campaign we feel that okay, today Rajasthan or Haryana and all, there we should not think that okay, they are vegetarian states, so we should not run our campaign there. No, we should not
yes,
compromise, or no, we should not just, because you never know, after 2 3 years they might turn into non-vegetarian state.
yes,
So we
yes,
do our campaign there also. Similarly, something which is not happening in Assam, for example, bestiality, let's not ever let it happen. And we have
yes.
to do more sensitization, more awareness program, make the youth more aware about it.
Okay, all right. So my second question is, um, dog meat. I have seen many dogs disappearing, and going to Nagaland and stuff like that. Is it in last few years? Do you think that dog meat breeding is reducing or increasing? What is the trend you are seeing?
Yeah, so dog meat trade. I remember I was working with Purpose Foundation when I first came across this dog meat trade business in the year 2016. I guess there was like more than 14, 15 dogs were rescued, and the cases are increasing. Like the cases are increasing, but again in Mizoram we have our dog illegal dog meat trade, this campaign which is running in Mizoram. So the thing is, the good part now is that you must be aware of my friend Ruth, Melinda. So we are the local organizations in states like Mizoram, Nagaland, and and Manipur and all this states, the youth from these states are taking this responsibility now. They are working to stop this illegal dog meat trade, and maybe because of them, the good thing has happened. Where the Mizoram, no, not the Mizoram,
Nagaland.
Nagaland. The Nagaland government has come up with this beautiful thing that okay, they will completely stop in this dog for food purpose. And this is not, although we as an outside organization we're working for them, but until and unless their local people don't stand for it, it's not going to happen.
Okay,
So
all
I
right.
think recently an activist was also arrested offering meat from the
yeah,
dogs. I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
very
yes,
sure.
yes, yes, because she said something again. I would like to say
Hima
I
Chaudhary
don't.
was his name,
Hema
right?
Chaudhary. Yeah, I never term myself as activist because I'm just a normal person. Uh, because when it comes to activism, it's yeah. it's a bit difficult. Like I'm
Noy-
not. I'm acting
Noyonika, Noyonika, you being lawyer, I will have to say that normal word is very complicated. It's better to avoid the word normal, right? Right.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So my last question is: you have mentioned two questions together, basically. You have mentioned that you guys had done work for flood in Kerala and Bengal. What about Assam? What all did you guys do for recent flood? That one thing. And the last thing is that I didn't know whether you have covered what all you guys are doing from SSI in Assam presently.
So thank you, Melinda, for asking the question. So currently, what we are doing is that first of all, before I joined here in Assam as a coordinator, we were working. Our organization is working with JBF, Just Be Friendly. So like HSI is always working with JBF to during this flood relief program and all in collaboration with JBF. And now what we are planning is that we are thinking to bring a person in Assam for the disaster management who will take care of the during the disaster time. So we are working on it. We are thinking to bring a person for that. And yeah, so JBF is basically our partner organization and who is working during this disaster time.
So hopefully the person will be local, right?
Yeah, hopefully, yes, because I'm local, so obviously we will look for someone who is local.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
So if there are no more questions from our viewers, I think we can wrap up.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess there are none.
Okay.
So thank you, Noyonika, for joining us this evening, and it has been a really delightful and enlightening discussion. And we hope to host you again on another day. I hope you
Yeah,
will join
sure,
us
sure.
again.
Thank you. I hope I have answered all your questions, and thank you so much, Melinda. Like Melinda is like a constant, he's a brother, he's like a brother to me. He supports me, he encourages me, and then thank you so much. And then uh, thank you, Abhishek and Priyanshu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
Okay,
very
for
thank
much.
you,
our
thank you,
viewers who have
everyone.
for our
And
viewers
thank you,
who have
viewers. And
been
if there is any questions or something, if they want to know more about our organization or how they want or how they can be a part of it, or maybe if they want to do any programs in their schools and colleges, please let me know. Maybe Priyanshu, you can share my email ID and then we can work together.
all right. Thank you, viewers, for joining us, and those live on Facebook. Thank you as well. Hope you will join us again for the next discussion tomorrow. All right. Bye bye. Thank you,
Thank
Nanika.
you. Bye. Thank you. Bye.